authentic. I was fully myself. He got all of the loving, nurturing, affectionate, I mean, like pouring into him, treating him like a king. But he also got the intense trauma, abandon, neglect, toxicity. I'm a young girl. I don't even know that I have this trauma. I don't even know that I'm just this dysfunctional. And when I say the duality, all of it was there.
He said something profound to you, right? What did he say that was so profound to you about what you desire?
Yeah, we talked about that last night, and he was right. He said, and this was like, we were literally planning our engagement party. He said, baby, I'm just a buffer for you. And now, mind you, in my mind, I'm like, we get married. So, and it would hurt me when he would say now, because I thought he would leave, because I was hurt for him saying that. He said, I'm a buffer for you. He said, you're too insecure for the man that you really want right now. And that was in my 20s. I was like 22, 23 when he said this to me. And I'm like, what? He goes, hear me when I say this. He said, I'm a buffer. At some point, you will become secure enough to be with that guy. But right now,
what the heck?
Now you're with me because you are too insecure at this moment to be with who you really want to be.
Now, listen, let me first and foremost say this. If a guy, you end up saying this to a woman, why are you with her? Why waste your time with her? Now, of course, they didn't get married in the end. They called it off. Fantastic. But why were you with her? See, I like to look at relationships as a mirror, right? Don't get gassed because you told her, listen, I'm a buffer and da-da-da-da-da. Like, when women are putting stories across, it sounds beautiful. No offense to any woman out there, but when women tell stories about their exes and about their relationships, they put this beautiful spin on it that makes things look so nice. But I'm going to rip apart the Band-Aid and call it for what it really is. Homeboy, okay, our good fella in this situation, okay, all right, had a savior complex. It's just that simple, right? Because the reality of the situation is that she was dysfunctional at this point. As a 20-year-old in her 20s, she was dysfunctional and toxic, and she was running from her problems in the relationship. Even though he gave her a safe space to be her full self, she took major advantage of that space and brought her toxic self to the situation. Now, can I be very real with you? Only God can give you the unlimited, unconditional, favored love where you can do whatever you want to do. If you're dealing with a human being, man or woman, whilst I do believe we should be loving people in our fullest capacity, there must be boundaries because you are only a human being and not God. God can love you in any scape or any form and any place and love you in the pits of hell, but I won't. See, the reality of the situation is, as human beings, we actually expect people to hold boundaries. We expect people to put certain rules in place. We expect people to make sure that they let us know how we're going to treat them. Okay, the love of God can overcome anything because that love is unconditional because of who he is. I am not God and you are not God and that man is not God and that person is not God. You are a human being. You have a limitation for how much you can actually take. Right? So when you get into a relationship, while I do believe you should give quote unquote unconditional love, there must be conditions to that love. Right? The reality of the situation is he knew he was a buffer. Why? Because he knew that if she was actually operating from a place of being healed, he wouldn't be the one for her. So why are we there? Well, it tells us about your mindset. If you know that when she gets healed, you wouldn't be the man that she actually wants, then the problem isn't her, it's you. This is why I teach men to be accountable. All right. We can talk about women all day and I will call out what her actual real thing is. We'll call it out. But I'm talking to you as a man to man. I want to make sure that you don't get taken advantage of. I want to make sure that you're not in relationships with women that you're going to end up crying about later on. Right. I want to make sure that you're in a relationship with women that actually are going to benefit you, not take away from you, not get married to somebody and then say that the statistics say that women are the ones that always divorce men. Because you're actually right, they do. But the reality of the situation is, who did you choose? Let's be accountable. But listen to what she's actually saying, right? The gentleman knew that he was a buffer. He knew that he was somebody who was actually, this is what he was doing. This is what he really was doing. He was betraying himself. Just take a minute for that. He was betraying himself. Why was he betraying himself? Every man and every woman, but let's talk about men first. Every man, okay, is a king of themselves. What that means is they have their own domain, their own territory. When you have your life, when someone enters into your life, you have a culture, you have rules, you have standards. When you go into another country, you have rules, you have culture, you have standards. You have to obey what's going on in that country. The same thing happens to you as an individual, as a man. You need to make sure that you have a culture. You have in your domain, there are rules and there are standards, right? And there are consequences, right? When the rules are flouted, all right? There are consequences when the culture is being shaped in a way that goes against what you originally had as a culture. There is a consequence for when the standards begin to slip. I want you to know that as a king of your own domain, everybody will look at the king, not the queen, as to why the kingdom is going the way it is. It's called a kingdom for a reason. When a queen enters into your scope and your domain, she's looking for your leadership. Question is how you're leading. Let's listen a bit more to the video. But first, before we do, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification of uploads. Don't turn the channel over, okay? I know I'm dialing up the heat a little bit on you man then, but listen, I'm going to save you from all the shenanigans of women. I'm telling you, because there are shenanigans. Women will tell you to accept a low level, but never will accept it themselves. And I'm talking about a certain type of man. Because there are other women, there are other men that when women encounter them, they up their level for that man. Never, hear me very clearly, never in your life lower your standard for that girl. Don't you ever. That woman is looking for you to elevate herself. Let me tell you about this. Last few years, obviously, we run into certain situations, right? And what I found about women is this. They're always looking for leadership. Always. And they're always looking for a man who has a good culture, a good standard, and good rules. Now, when a woman is unwilling to elevate her thinking, her mind process, she will stay with a man that is willing to deal with her low, as Dr. Bryant would say, low functioning, toxic, dysfunctional behavior. She will stick with that man who says, "I'm just so patient. I'm just so patient. I just understand you." I don't have the patience for it, my guy. I don't. Here's why. Because if you wanted to do better, you would have done better. Ooh. And if you can't do better, then you don't need to do it with me. Do it with somebody else. Now, I'm not saying that people need to be perfect. No. But there are certain basic norms of dysfunction, toxicity that shouldn't be happening. Right? Let's listen a bit more.
And when I tell you,
when I say that is emotional intelligence on a high level,
and when
shout
I tell
out to
you
that brother.
that man was on point to the point. And I didn't argue with him. I just was more like, babe, don't say that. We got our engagement party. We're getting married. And I also knew in my
So we're
heart
getting married.
that he was right and that I would be leaving like deep, not like forefront. And so a part of me.
So in her, so wait, she's like, don't be saying that. Don't be saying that you're a buffer because, you know, deep down, I want to marry him. But deep down in her heart, she knew. Here's what I'm going to tell you as a man. That woman that you like, if you don't elevate your standards, you don't elevate your rules, you don't hold to your rules, and you don't maintain your culture, right? And I'm not saying, this is not about being a hard iron authoritarian. No. You must be a lion and a lamb. You must be a lion and a lamb, not a lion, not a lamb and a beast. You must be both lion and the lamb. You must know when to be able to be passive and know when to be assertive. When you become the beast, you've gone too far. Right? When you become the beast, you destroy everything. No. If you want to maintain a healthy relationship, the lion and the lamb, you must know when there are times to be more passive and more softer and more caring in certain areas. And there are other areas where you'd say, listen, I know you're not going to like it, but these are the rules, this is the culture, and these are the standards. And you're beginning to let it slip, and I'm not about it. And you must hold yourself to those particular rules, culture, and standards. You can't flout your own rules, culture, and standards and be like, oh, follow me. Don't be that wishy-washy man. You can't do that. If you know your rules, your culture, and your standard are this, then it is that. Right? Look, I've been in several situations with women and they'll be like, and I'll say, listen, well, it is what it is. This is my standard. This is what I'm working with. If you're uncomfortable, I understand it, but I can't change certain parts of me. There are other parts I can. I can learn how to deliver a message much better. I can learn how to be, when I am the lamb, to be a bit more softer. But when I'm the lion, I can't be the beast. I need to learn that too, right? I need to learn to balance that. When you're the lion, you don't become the beast. When you become the beast, you destroy everything in your midst. You become red mist. The lion is measured, controlled, and knows how to assert himself at the point of presence in that moment. And it keeps everybody feeling calm, collected, and safe. Why? Because that person knows that, listen, these rules that I have, right? I also adhere to those rules. So if I'm flouting those rules, you can call me out on those rules. This is not a dictatorship. You don't want a dictatorship in your relationship, right? You don't want your girl out here like it's communism state. No. You want her to follow you because you lead very well. We all know what it looks like, because when you're at work and you have that dictator boss, nobody wants to work for that boss. But when you have the boss that is both the lion and the lamb, and you know what it looks like when they're assertive, but they're still cool with you, you want to work for that boss. Why? Because you respect the fact that man's a lion, but he's also a lamb. He can keep it. He can do both. Learn how to do both, right?
All of me was trying to save him from a heartbreak I knew he was going to have.
Inevitable. an inevitable heartbreak.
I was trying to save him and say, no, and no, you know, and like, but I'm here and I do love you. And that's not true. And then also because he was such a freaking good man, it was hard to leave because I didn't have infidelity.
And you didn't have a reason to leave. So what happens with people like that suffer from abandonment issues, you try to look for a reason, and then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy because you'll create the reason to leave, but you come with such toxicity that you'll start breaking the very man.
So the reality of the situation is, look what's happening, right? She was coming with her dysfunctional toxicity in the environment. The gentleman was very patient, understanding, and everything, all like that. But he knew in his heart that, you know what? The moment you heal, you're going to elevate. If you already know this mindset that the moment she heals, she's going to elevate, she wouldn't want me, then she never wanted you, all right? And you need to get into your head that I don't need to be here. That means something inside of you is making you want to lower yourself to that function. Why would you do that to yourself? There's work that you need to do. And that's where I come in. Listen, we're going to leave it here. I'll do another video. But listen, I want you guys to make sure, listen, I don't see you guys in the dirt. Okay? All right? So I'll put my link description. I'm taking a few more clients. Specifically, I want men. The ladies, I hear you. I love it. I coach women as well. But listen, the man them specifically, I want you. I don't want to see you guys in broken relationships, broken marriages. If you know you've been in bad rut of relationships and you need help, listen, we talk about the lion and the lamb. We're not trying to make you on one side. You have to do both. And the way to do that both is to find balance. Finding balance is about healing the previous wounds that you previously had, because those wounds are what are making you desperate for that woman who doesn't respect your culture, your rules, or your standards. Or the one that you're bending your rules, your culture, and your standards for. And actually what's happening is that person is now overtaking you and taking advantage of you. And in the end, they don't even respect you for it. In the end, she just told us she knew deep down she needed to leave him because she was not healed. And that is not the guy she'd even want when she's healed. Not that when she gets healed, she'll be a better mate for him. No, she said, when I get healed, you will not be the one I want. Deep that. Bro, don't save them. They don't want to be saved. And when they do get saved, they don't want your ass. I'm not here to save you. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm here to tell you, listen, this is the culture, this is the standard, and this is what it is off rip. You know what I'm saying to you? Okay? All right? So listen, I don't want to see you guys suffer. So reach out to me. We're still doing a few bits and bobs on the coaching. There's a link down below in the description box. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate you guys. Stay locked.